Student writers often report trouble with organizing their writing, and some of those troubles revolve around a common structure we first learned in elementary school, the paragraph. There are two common issues that students worry about in their writing: paragraphs that are too short and lack development or seem repetitive, or paragraphs that are too long, running for pages without a break. To help solve these two common issues, we need to understand what a paragraph actually is. Though it may seem kind of funny to ask what a paragraph is, chances are you were taught some pretty vague definitions about paragraphs. Part of the vagueness stems from style differences. Different genres of writing, such as analytic essays, research reports, or proposals, will have different criteria for determining what information should be in a paragraph. Even though paragraphs come in lots of varieties, you could say there are many flavors, there are some basic concepts that we can explore to clarify what a paragraph is. In this lesson, we'll explore a basic formula for a body paragraph. But first, we're going to need some pie. What do we know about pie? It has a bottom crust, a top crust, and some filling, right? Without the crust, the filling would be pretty messy. Like a pie, a strong body paragraph also has three parts. As a matter of fact, we can use pie to explain these three parts: the point, the illustration, and the explanation. Let's take a closer look at each component of the paragraph pie. At the start of every paragraph is the point. In most academic work, the point of the paragraph is a claim. The point makes a small argument that builds toward the overarching argument or purpose of the writing project. The middle of the paragraph provides illustration of the claim. This part of the paragraph includes evidence from research that helps illustrate the point. At the end of the paragraph is the explanation. This part of the paragraph explains the evidence, providing context and linking the point and illustration to the overarching argument. So a basic paragraph starts with a point, uses illustration to support the point, and then explains the illustration. Point, illustration, explanation. Sounds easy, but what does it really mean? Let's take a close look at some examples. Here's a body paragraph from the research article, "It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's a Gender Stereotype: Longitudinal Associations Between Superhero Viewing and Gender Stereotypes" by Sarah Coyne, Jennifer Ruhlender, Eric Rasmussen, David Nelson, and Kevin Collier. This article appeared in the May 2014 issue of the academic journal Sex Roles. The purpose of the article was to explore the relationship between viewing television programming with superheroes, especially when the programming contained violence, and male stereotyped play or weapon play. This article is a great example of the effect paragraph organization has on the writing because the writers present a lot of information. Without careful organization within and between their paragraphs, it would be hard to follow or understand the research. Let's take a look at a typical paragraph. This one falls about midway through the article, on the 11th of 15 pages. At the start of the paragraph, the authors make the claim that viewing superheroes does not have the same effect on girls as it does on boys. Their point is made in the first two sentences of the paragraph. We did not find the same effect for girls. Given that girls view less superhero programs and there are fewer female characters, it's not surprising that the effects were stronger for boys. The next sentence, too, sounds like a claim. When female superheroes are portrayed, they typically portray the same masculine traits as male superheroes. There's a telltale clue, however, that marks this as an illustration, a piece of evidence, and that is the parenthetical at the end of the sentence, Baker and Rainey, 2007. This in-text citation lets the reader know that this is evidence from research that the authors are using to develop their point. In the next several sentences, the biggest part of the paragraph, the authors will introduce several pieces of evidence from a variety of sources. This evidence allows the writers to explore their point and transitions into an explanation. Finally, at the end of the paragraph, the writers explain the illustrations and connect the point and illustrations from this paragraph to the larger research issue they're addressing. They write, "Perhaps for girls, viewing the masculine behavior of superheroes is not sufficient to counteract their exposure to highly feminine representations in other media. Future research should address this possibility by examining superhero exposure within the context of the complete media diet of young children." These two sentences Analyze the evidence presented in the illustration by offering one explanation for the research findings. And they set the findings in a larger context by pointing to future research needs. Different paragraphs, different writing projects, and different genres will subtly shift the information in the paragraph. But a solid foundation for a body paragraph is the PI formula. Make your point, present your evidence in your illustration, and then explain. All right, who's hungry?